So getting everyone squared away here. Also want to give a big shout out to my buddy Shane Haas and the friends say hello from Rosie's Tavern. Shane, always a good supporter of the podcast, of course, that I do. And race fans, if you don't know what I do, my name is Will Greenwell, and I have a national podcast. We're in 43 states and 13 countries now. We talk racing each and every week. We can find us at wildwillgreenwell.com or any of the podcast platforms. We just had Rick Hendrick's first ever driver, Jeff Bodine, on the show, and that was pretty cool. So make sure you check out the podcast. We have a driver from each series, all local racing. We just had Mike Morgan, the driver of Mac Vader, out there on. So check that out. You can go to wildwillgreenwell.com or any podcast platform, including Apple, Android, Amazon Music, anything like that. So make sure you check that out. But Shane Haas and everyone watching from Rosie's Tavern, welcome. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. Well, here we go as the Crown Vic start to roll off on the racetrack. 25 laps. My buddy Brent will have the top three down trackside. He'll be interviewing, of course, this class and the scrappers, and I will be interviewing the Crown Vics on the high banks and the semis tonight down trackside at Red Ball Recycling Victory Lane. So one last check, make sure all the transponders fire. So as you see, usually Caden Cook's in that number 33, but I believe, I don't know, on the roster it says Nick Cook in that number 33, which is being scored as the 33, or 59, and the 591, which is being scored as Carter Cook's number 59. So we'll go with that here momentarily. So we'll see. Sometimes with the Crown Vics, it's a little bit difficult at times, but as some of these cars will be having a different driver for the high banks, some of them have a different driver for the short track. So try to do the best we can for you guys here tonight. So Nick Cook on the outside, Carter Cook on the inside. Now Carter Cook in that number 51 has a couple of wins on the high banks underneath of him in the Crown Vics, as well as a lot of other drivers in this field. Now we talk about the configuration of the short track here at Salem Speedway. This track was actually built, believe it or not, when Louisville Motor Speedway closed down. The owners of this track said, you know what, Louisville Motor Speedway, those drivers don't have anywhere to go, so figure eight track, maybe I can get some of those guys up here. It has 0-degree banking, basically, so you have to use the bumper to pass. We'll find out. Here we go, getting ready for the start. Carter Cook going to bring us to the green flag. So down in turns number one, you can see you have to be on the inside. It's so easy on that fall off to get that dirt to go out on the racetrack, and they're going to call yellow for a false start. As you saw, Carter Cook gunned it just a little bit too early down in turns number 3 and 4. So that is a false start. False start when both cars don't come to the line equally. And one pulls the trigger. If you haven't been around a racetrack for many years, that is the reason for the caution flag. So like we talked about, they built this track after Louisville Motor Speedway closed down, and that was the ideal that Salem Speedway had here. So a flat degree banking track, basically, with a kind of dip on the inside of the lane. Now, the inside of the small track is the preferred groove. On the high banks, it's the outside that is the preferred groove. So a flip-flop track, if you will. So they're going to give him one to go at the line. Carter Cook set to bring us to the green flag. Don't forget, race fans, July 5th, it's going to be a big one. It is the Red Whirl Big Bang 100 for the Crown Vics on the high banks. A lot of purse money up for grabs. We could see 50-plus cars starting that 100-lap main event here on July the 5th. Make sure you mark your calendars now. Going to be a good one here at Salem Speedway. Well, here we go. They bunch up going down the back straightaway as the sun begins to set here at Salem Speedway. Carter Cook, Nick Cook brings us to the green flag. Good start by the number 33 machine of Nick Cook to the high side. Carter Cook battles to the inside. John Lister in that number 45 machine, staying on the bottom side of the number 28 of Kyle Lefevre. 2x2 into turns number 3 and 4. It's going to be, we'll find out, looks like actually Nick Cook going to lead lap number 1. So something we do not see with the inside track much. And here we go, 3 wide as Doug Wicker now committed to the inside left rear of John Lister's number 45. And that's exactly the product of what happens. So Kyle Lefevre still hung up on the high side of the number 45 of John Lister. Now John Lister's going to be committed to the inside. He'll have that number 3 spot. Doug Wicker now uses that front bumper all over the back end of John Lister's number 45 machine. Kyle Lefevre hung up in no man's land. That is not where you want to be. As you see, Ron Phillips not wanting to let that position go. That is the battle for the number 5 spot right now as they head off down the back straightaway. Somehow, Kyle Lefevre is going to have to get to the inside or he's going to keep losing positions. Kyle Lefevre finally gets down. Jackson Ziegler all over the back end of the number 39, or excuse me, 228 of Kyle Lefevre. Doug Wicker gets off the track a little bit. Already 5 laps down. It doesn't take long for 25 laps on the quarter mile here at Salem Speedway. So Carter Cook, Nick Cook, and John Lister, Doug Wicker, and Ron Phillips, your top 5. They head off down to turns 1 and 2. Looking on back through the pack a little bit. Right outside of the top 5, Kyle Lefevre, Jackson Ziegler, Nick Payne, and the 06 machine. That is Brandon Deckard. Now, Brandon Deckard, he's a former Great American Stock competitor. In for Todd Harrison, 06 here this weekend. So we head off now down the back straightaway. Once again, coming to 8 laps. You got 2 cars on the rear end of the field at danger of going a lap down. And one of those is the number 18 machine of Clayton Sander and Tommy Pitcher's number 38T machine. Those are your 2 last cars on the lead lap. So faster traffic approaching those 2 tail end cars here momentarily. They're going to find themselves possibly a lap down. So here comes the Cooks. You got Carter and his father, Nick Cook, who is on my scoring paper. Usually Caden Cook drives that number 33, which is the younger brother to Carter Cook. So now they're on the high side of Tommy Pitcher. They're going to put that number 38T a lap down. So now the leader set eyes on Clayton Sanders, number 18. He is in danger of going a lap down. Now lap traffic and slower traffic have determined a lot of these races, so you got to be careful. You're the front runners. 15 laps to go this time by as Tommy Pitcher continues to get off the track just a tad in that number 38T. See Roger Vincent back there in the number 16, St. Clair's number 81, and Ewing's number 07. Those are the next 3 cars in danger of going a lap down if the number 59 of Carter Cook can reel them in. And if we stay green, he should have no problem doing that with the track speeds we're seeing. So action all over the quarter mile here. And you can see the action on the track is between the number 7 of Wicker and the number 45 of John Lister. As now Lister's going to get all over the back bumper now of the number 7 of Doug Wicker. But Doug Wicker has the 3rd spot. We haven't seen a change in position in quite a while, and that's the battle for 3rd right now. As now Ron Phillips is all over the back bumper of John Lister's number 45. So as you can see, the number 59 of Carter Cook now going to put Roger Vincent a lap down in that number 16 over in turns number 3. Roger Vincent going to say, hey, you know what, you're faster. I'm going to stay to the high side and let you pass on the inside. But now Carter Cook is forced to go to the high side of Kenny St. Clair. And he will put the number 181 a lap down as well. So now they start to lap at a blistering pace here. And Ewing, there in the 07 machine at danger of going a lap down now with only 10 laps to go. So 10 laps to go left in the Crown Vic 25 lapper here tonight at Salem Speedway. So the on-site plumbing, heating, and air Crown Vic's on the short track, winding down here with only one caution flag. It really wasn't a caution flag, it was a total restart. So now Doug Wicker, who is in that third spot, is all over the back end of Nick Cook's number 33, trying to reel him in for the number 2 spot. John Lister still back there in fourth, and Ron Phillips runs in that fifth spot. And the number 39, Kyle Lefevre, all over the back end of the number 39 as well. So a gaggle of cars. Now something going on possibly with John Lister, and yes, John Lister has a problem in that number 45 machine. He makes a slow, steady pace on the high side. He's going to try to limp that car in pit side in that number 45 machine. So tough break for John Lister's number 45 as 18 laps up on the board next time by. It's going to be 6 laps to go. So Carter Cook making his way, and here comes Doug Wicker in the inside of the number 33 of Nick Cook, trying to make something happen with that number 33 with only 6 laps to go this time by. You can see Doug Wicker in that number 7 machine gets a little bit loose, trying to get up behind the number 33, but only 5 laps to go for the 59 of Carter Cook. So the battle on the racetrack is for the number 2 spot right now, and that is Doug Wicker all over the back end of Nick Cook. But now here's a problem that Carter Cook may run into. He has a lot of slower traffic in front of him. So 4 laps to go this next time by, down the back straightaway. So looking at the top 5 right now, Carter Cook, Nick Cook in that 33 second, Doug Wicker at third, Ron Phillips fourth, and Kyle Lefevre in that 228. He goes 5th right now on the Salem Speedway scoreboard. 2 laps to go this time by Carter Cook. So Doug Wicker running out of time to try to get past Nick Cook for that 2nd spot. Looks like he may have a chance now. He backs off a little bit. White flag this time by for Carter Cook as the top 3 cars over in turns 3 and 4. He'll see the white flag this time by. Down the back straightaway for the final time for the number 59 machine. Final time for Doug Wicker to try to get past the number 33, and off turn number 4, it'll be Carter Cook picking up the win tonight in the on-site plumbing, heating, and air Crown Vic's on the short track. Nick Cook, Doug Wicker rounds out your top 3. Ron Phillips and Kyle Lefevre's 228. That's going to round out your top 5 tonight in the first main event in the on-site plumbing, heating, and air Crown Vic's on the short track here tonight as everyone will complete their lap. The top 3 will come trackside in Red Ball and Recycling Victory Lane. My friend Brent down there going to be interviewing the first 2 classes. I will have the Crown Vic's on the high banks and semis interviews a little bit later on tonight. So those 3 cars going to pull in Red Ball and Recycling Victory Lane here tonight. Like we talked about on scoring, it was Nick Cook on that number 33, usually driven by, of course, Carter Cook's younger brother, Caden Cook. We'll have to see exactly who that is. But everyone else pulling in, we're going to have the top 3 down trackside. Carter Cook starts to make his way over. My buddy Brent down there in Red Ball and Recycling Victory Lane. Brent, take it away, my friend. So that was Caden Cook. See, I told you, sometimes the lineups are wrong, but Caden Cook, not Nick Cook, but Caden Cook in that number 33.
Ladies and gentlemen, your short track winner, Crown Vic in 59. Congratulations, Carter, for that win.
Thank you. I didn't really even plan on racing the race. I had to go steal tires from everybody. Yeah, that was definitely a fun one, though.
You got out a false start, and then you caught some lap traffic. You were able to stretch out a little bit of a lead there. Nobody had any competition for you. What do you say about these drivers that were racing against you today?
Yeah, I was trying to pull my brother's chain a little bit on jumping the start. He didn't go like I wanted him to, but everybody's pretty good out here. I just got lucky and got the pill draw to start on pole. This track's pretty hard to pass on, but it was definitely a fun one today.
That's awesome. Are we going to see you race on the high banks later?
Oh, for sure.
Who would you like to say thanks to on this number 59?
I got to thank Kentucky Classic Pools, Ferris Plumbing, Wright Mechanical, Bubba Fab, A1 Transmission, my buddy Jacobs over there at the Drome winning probably everything, M&M Seal Coating, In-N-Out Auto Service.
Ladies and gentlemen, yet your short track winner, number 59, Carter Cook. Yes, thank you. Absolutely. Moving right along, number 2, 33, Caden Cook. How did it go out there for you today?
Well, my brother wasn't even supposed to race that race, and whenever I seen the lineups and he started right on the inside of me, I figured it wasn't going to be easy. That first start, I just tried to get low as soon as I could. Then they caught me for So the second restart, I tried to race it out with him side by side as long as I could, and then at outsides, it don't work here, so they ended up pulling away, or Carter did, and I found a hole and I took it, and we kind of just rode there 1-2.
We were watching Doug Wicker try the inside, the outside, the late lunge, all over. How'd you keep him behind you?
I knew it wasn't going to be easy. You know, he's a good driver. I knew it was going to be a tough battle between us. He gave me the bumper a couple of times. I mean, that's racing. But I don't know, really. I watched him dive down, go high, and I just kind of held my line and, you know, tried to hold him off as long as I could.
That's awesome. Your number 2 finisher, 33, Caden Cook. Nice job. Ladies and gentlemen, third place, number 7, Doug Wicker. How'd it go out there?
Oh, it was fun, you know, battling with them young kids. It makes it interesting, you know. Some of them, I mean, John Lister, I love that guy. But when I get to your door, it's my hole, I'm going to get it. So, but no, it was a great race. The Cook boys are bad. They're coming up and coming. You're going to see these kids for a long time. I'm getting old. I'm about done with all this, but I keep trying. But I appreciate the crowd. Awesome turnout for a hot day, let me tell you. If you wear one of these, it's bad. So, you know, hey, enjoy the rest of the night. I'm going to go get this stuff off and get out of here.
Thanks a lot. Your third place finisher, Doug Wicker. Back up to you, Wild Will.
Thank you very much, Brent. Getting ready for the Red Ball Recycling Scrappers in the NOS Energy Drink 25. Going to be on the kidney bean course.